Our next trick is called go to mat or go to place, and it's nice to have a place to be able to send your dog. For when you travel, you take the mat and you take the rug or whatever, and your dog has a place to go. So to start this, you can start it, kind of jump start it. You take your dog to the mat and you feed him on the mat, and then you leave, and there's no treats off the mat, and you let him kind of go back and figure out that the mat is where good things happen. The mat is where it's at. I like to start it out, usually when I have the time, I start it out slower, and I let the dog kind of figure out to go there on his own, and that's where treats happen. So I'm just going to wait and see what he does. So as soon as he puts his feet on the mat, he gets a click and a treat, and then I'm going to toss a treat off the mat so that he has to make the decision to go back. Good boy. Because otherwise he'll get stuck there. He'll realize that's where all this stuff's happening, and he's not going to get off. Good boy. Yes. So, you start out just getting him to place his feet on the mat. That's good enough. Eventually, when it looks like your dog is making a conscious decision, which of course he already is because he likes this game, as he likes all of his games, so he knows the game. So he is definitely choosing to go to that rug and to the mat. Then you can start expecting a little bit more. So for him, yes, I actually would have been okay with a sit as the next step, but he knows the end result is we're going to want it down on the mat. Good boy. Go get it. Go to your mat. Good boy. So you can add the cue whenever you want to add the cue. Hey, Spoo, ready? He's still stopping. Ready? Spoo-Moni. Go get it. Good boy. And we'll let him get his treat. Go to your mat. So our end result is you go to the mat, you kind of, you're happy about it, and you lay down on the mat, and then you wait there until we ask you to get up. Good boy. Good boy. He's pretty good at this. I might do this with a different dog if I can get another dog out, if he'll let me. He sometimes doesn't want to cooperate when it's in someone else's turn. You ready? Go to your mat. Good boy. Good boy. Yay. So if you set this up with barrel racing, you could have a nice little indoor aerobic exercise for your dog. Have him go around the barrels a couple times, go to the mat, go around the barrels, go to the mat, and these wonderful snow days we've been having, your dog would get a lot of exercise. There you go, buddy. Good boy. Thank you. So we'll try Miss Scooty with go to the mat. She knows it a little bit, not as well. So I just wait for her to make contact with the mat or show any interest in the mat whatsoever. Maybe she's going to make a liar out of me and she's going to do it. Let's see what she does. Good girl. So again, any sort of interaction with that mat. She's distracted right now. The UPS van just went by and she just wants to bark at him. But she can't. That's not allowed. Get it? So I let her make the decision. And it looks like she's making the decision to come back to the mat. Find it. First one on the floor. Get it right there. Good girl. Good girl. Go to your mat. Good girl. It's exactly what I want. I want her to take the next step and sit on the mat. And she made that decision all on her own. I didn't tell her. Go to your mat. Good girl. Good girl. Go get it. So we'll get her off the mat over on the other side of the room. Go to your mat. Good girl. Get it. And then we have to toss a treat off the mat so that she leaves. Go. Go find it. Find it. Find it. It's right here. Go get it. There you go. Good girl. Go to your mat. Good girl. There you go. Good girl. So I still want to put one on the mat because the mat builds value for being on the mat. But I do have to toss a treat to the side. Otherwise she won't leave. What you could do is do the good treat on the mat and the kibble off the mat. Spit that out right at me. There it is. Get it again. Go to your mat. Yeah, good girl. So I waited a second or two, and she decided maybe if I lay down, I'll get something. And that was the good decision. So she made the right choice, and she got the treat. Go to your mat. Good girl, good girl. So it doesn't take your dog long to figure out that being on the mat is where it's at, and they get their good treats when they're laying on their mat, and then it becomes a very useful behavior. Ready? Go to your mat. Good girl. And if you make it really upbeat like that, and don't make it like a punishment where you're dragging them to the mat to start out and make it more fun, they will enjoy being on their mat that much more. It makes it a lot easier in the long run to use for behavior. Go to your mat. Good job, what a good girl. That's a good girl. Okay, take a break. Good job.